Hi everyone, this is Callie May at Callie Made. Today I'm going to be talking about my April plan with me, which is inspired by the Ghibli Studio films. And I love Hayao Miyazaki films. It's one of my favorite animation studios, as probably many others. I know that I usually talk about animation, so I'll talk a little bit about what I'm doing. And maybe a little bit about the films, but I also wanted to talk about kind of what's going on in the world with the whole Asian hate thing, anti-racism, and what we can do. It's been really heavy on my heart, and so March has been really hard for me, not just with COVID, but also with whatever's going on. So if you don't want to listen to it, that's totally fine. Just mute me, but I hope you'll still watch my content and subscribe and like my content, because I'm kind of new to all this, and I don't know, I just kind of felt like my voice needed to be heard today, and that's what I want to do. So let me explain a little bit about what I'm doing. I decided to mix my claw machine idea with my Ghibli Studio characters. Well, not my characters, but you get what I mean. And I thought it was super fun because I love claw machines. I think they're super fun. I've never been to Japan, but if I were, I definitely would try to play some of their claw machines because they look really cool. But funny story, so my fiance, when we were in undergraduate school, we would go to like a Walmart or just a place that had a claw machine, and he was like oddly good at playing the claw machine. And let's see, I think I'll say like maybe 4 times out of 10 he would get something, and that's kind of significant enough. So throughout my years in college, he would always give me a stuffed animal that he either got from a crane machine, or if I was with him, he'd give it to me, and it would just be kind of a fun thing that we would kind of do together, and it's one of our favorite memories. And the reason why I decided to do it in April is because we finally picked a date for our wedding. I won't disclose that, but I wanted to share the excitement with you anyways, at least indirectly. And so I decided to make some of these characters as if they were stuffed toys in a claw machine. And my approach is a little bit different. I decided to outline everything because I hadn't decided my accent colors just yet. And so you'll see me outline all of my pages before I start to color them. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I'm doing. If you can tell, my favorite Ghibli films are My Neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service. I've seen a lot of Ghibli films, but not all of them. And also, an unpopular opinion, please don't hate me, but I don't like Spirited Away that much. I think it's a beautiful film, but when I was younger, my neighbors basically made me watch it, and I was like maybe 6, 7, or 8 years old. It scarred me for life because I was terrified of those spirits. So I have watched it once after kind of growing up a little bit, but I haven't watched it since, and I still just didn't really like it that much. But my mind could change. Maybe I just need to give it a third try. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to make those little suit characters and the little Totoros coming out of the claw machine for the calendar. And now I want to talk a little bit about kind of what's going on in the world about the Asian American hate in the US. I can't really speak for other countries because I'm from the US, and I am Chinese Filipino American. So my dad is Chinese and my mom is Filipino, and I was born and raised in the South. And after seeing all these tragedies on screen, it just kind of hurts, just sitting at home watching it happen, with the pandemic and everything, feeling powerless that I can't do anything to help these people. Now there's a lot of resources online that you guys can go to. I'll link some down below for donations and also just information and resources for Asian Americans. And I also just want people to know, if you're Asian American, don't feel like you're alone. And if you need someone to talk to or listen to you, leave some comments down below and I'll try to answer some comforting words for you guys. And, we're here together for everyone. And I just hope that one day that we're going to overcome these racial tensions between everyone and be able to live together in a more harmonious way. So some of the things that bothered me was the attack on the spa in Atlanta. I went to school in Savannah, Georgia, and I'd often would go to Atlanta for certain things because they also had a location in Atlanta. And that really hit hard because I have 3 friends that are from Atlanta and 2 of them are Asian. And it scared me because I thought that maybe something had happened to them. Thankfully, nothing really happened to them, but it's still daunting because it's so close to, friends and family, and you worry about what's going to happen next. My heart really goes out to the women who lost their lives that day, as well as the other people that were there and were affected or murdered. And those people were someone's family. They were people, they were supporters, they were breadwinners, they were people that were loved and loved their families as well. And just coming from an Asian background, that working at a spa, these women are hard workers and they're there to support their family. And so it just really hit home because, my Asian family is very hardworking. They don't do the same things, but the effort is still the same. And it also bothers me that a lot of the news coverage are people who are targeting elderly people, elderly Asian people. They're defenseless guys. And why should they be targeted? I just, doesn't make sense to me. It breaks my heart because, what if that was my grandparents or my parents and they couldn't do anything and just be beaten up to a pulp? It doesn't sit well with me. And I think that it's amazing that there are a lot of people out there using their platforms to raise awareness and also provide resources. Like Amanda Rachel, who is also a Bullet journalist, way more well-known than I am. And she's kind of amazing. Not kind of, but is. And she used her April Plan With Me video to explain the things that she researched, and I thought it was awesome. I feel like I'm not in that kind of position to do that. I haven't really done a significant amount of research, but I know enough to know that these things are wrongs and these things need to be heard by all kinds of people. So I hope one day that I will be able to be confident enough to do those kind of things. And Asian voices are usually pretty quiet until now. More people are speaking up, like Sandra Oh, who went to a rally in Pittsburgh. Jeremy Lin speaking up about his experience in the basketball league. If you're familiar with Eric Nam, a K-pop star who wrote a piece in the New York Times about Asian Americans, and he was from Atlanta, and so I can't imagine how he felt hearing that news. You guys should definitely check out his article and what he has to say as well. It's super powerful. And also check out Amanda Rachel's video as well. It's just weird to think that, our citizenship, our patriotism is questioned by people who are privileged and, who have all other things to worry about than other people's races. it just doesn't make sense to me, and I hope that one day that we'll be able to tolerate each other, even if we don't, I guess, agree with each other on certain things. It's just not right. Violence is not right, especially because of the color of our skin or who we are or where we come from. And Amanda Rachley talks about her identity, and I thought it was really cool that she was able to open up about that, because I don't think she's ever opened up about it before on her channel. But like her, I've had similar experiences of my identity as an Asian American. As an Asian American, you don't really fit in the American mold, and you don't fit in my context. I wasn't Filipino to my Filipino family and friends. I wasn't Chinese to my Chinese friends and family. And so there's this weird in-between. Well, where do I fit in? And as I've grown up, I've come to realize, why am I trying to categorize myself? I am who I am, and I love that. Being Asian American is different, but I love it. I love my cultures. I love learning about other people's cultures and learning their languages and figuring out their, I guess, cultural cues or traditions and how I can respect them better, because respect is important. I know that respect should be earned, but it also should just be given, especially to those who, deserve it. I know that my platform is not big, but I hope that what I have to say as an Asian American just kind of makes a little bit of an impact, that hate needs to stop. We shouldn't have to repeat history and have to go through these things and worry about our future generations of what they're going to experience later on in life. Our families and our past generations lived through those hardships so that we could not have to experience those kind of things. And I think that says a lot about Asian cultures. I don't know, I'm kind of at a loss for words. I watched a video about this guy who was in the military, and he was telling his story how Americans would question his patriotism because of the way he looked. He fought in the frickin' war. I'm not sure which war, but it's a war. And he has the battle scars. And he made a point where he basically showed some of his, this huge scar on his chest, to say, this is what patriotism looks like. I don't care what you think, but this is what it looks like. And I just thought that was amazing, and I don't know how he had the courage to do that. And he's an older man. But my grandfather fought in the Korean War. I can't imagine the things that he had to go through. But he battled cancer, I think, about 3 or 4 times, and he beat it all 4 times, even at the latest stages of cancer. He passed away a long time ago due to natural causes, but just knowing that the things that probably occurred during his life that I never heard about it from him, I just can't imagine, because he was a great man as a grandfather to me. And we love our elders, we respect them, because we know that the things that they go through are to better our futures. So I hope that these things that I have to say, encourage you to support your Asian friends and family, and to just talk about things and learn about each other's cultures without, stepping on eggshells about certain things. Ask politely, be open to what they have to say and their traditions. I also just, hope that that helps. I know that this was a heavy video, but I just felt like it was needed, something that had to be said, and I'm glad that I said it, and I'm sorry if it offends any of you guys, but it shouldn't have to. So I'm gonna go back to this last spread in my video. This is my final spread. I decided to make my first week about My Neighbor Totoro, and I think as I move on forward, I will continue to make spreads on different movies. Probably the next one's gonna be Kiki's Delivery Service. So look on my Instagram, CallieMade_Bujo, to see more images later on this month. Thank you for listening, and I'm sorry if this was like super hard to hear, but just know that you are loved and you are awesome for who you are, and thank you for supporting your friends and family and respecting each other. Have a good day, guys.